Hi Edci 337 and welcome to Module 8. This is Dano. For Module 8 I decided to go with Pixton. It is a great platform to be able to create comic books. This is an exercise that I would do with my students in the classroom. We look at 3 different illustrations from the Aboriginal past to the Aboriginal present to the Aboriginal future. So when we take a look at the Aboriginal past, a lot of students will always identify the amount of resources that were within the community. So a lot of deer and a lot of fish and a lot of people. We identify that the community really worked together to be able to sustain living together as one and being able to work together to be able to live within the community in itself. When we start to look at the present, we start to notice that there's not as many resources, there's not as many fish, there's not as many deer. We start to see housing. Students will also identify that when they live on a reserve, that their housing is crowded. There's quite a few families within the household. Another thing that the students identify is a lot of community members move away, whether it is to pursue employment, move in with other family. Majority of the time, a lot of students recognize that community members move from the reserve. Now, one of the interesting things is that when we take it to the future, students no longer really see the fishing and the deer as a big part of the resource. So it's difficult. They still have crowded housing. One of the things that the kids identify is that the cars and transportation and even living in condos is something that students will always identify as a part of the future. Now, the interesting thing that I found in all of these 3 illustrations is that students normally identify the cultural significance of a longhouse, and for whatever reason the longhouse always ends up in the past, it also ends up in the present, and it also ends up in the future. One of the things that the students indicate for the future is that places like Starbucks, Tim Hortons, and McDonald's would be near the longhouse or even in the longhouse. The longhouse would actually be in the inner city. This is interesting for me because the longhouse plays a significant part of the past, a significant part of the present, and also a significant part for the future. This exercise allows students the ability to be able to explore the past, the present, and future of their communities. And it's also an opportunity to be able to share that with other community members and even leadership within the communities. This exercise is a great way to get an insight to how the community functions and how the community works. I thank you, Edci 337. I hope you enjoyed Module 8. Thanks.